So hello everybody. Welcome back. Okay, last few weeks we have been working on the blues. In particular, we've been working on using some of the different sorts of chords that we have learned, whether they're seventh chords or suspensions, and just sort of adding them in for flavor, for color in our playing. So today we're going to do sort of the opposite end of it, and we are going to really focus on our right hand work. We're going to focus on our strumming and really trying to get sort of loose and creative and into a flow with our right hand. So I just want to start by going over some of the basics again that we've talked about. So first, make sure you're holding your uke right. That uke should really kind of fall right in, right at that crux of that arm, and then your arm can go across it pretty easily. Mine even has like this place right here that looks a little different to put your arm. Your index finger is what we primarily strum with. I play with the nail going down, and I really kind of strum across the fretboard and the fleshy part coming up. Gives a different texture to both of the directions. And the place you want to strum is right where the neck, this is the neck, meets the body. This is the body. If you strum over the sound hole like a guitar, it's not going to sound like a ukulele. And it's really not the sweet spot. So you want to really hit it right at that sweet spot. And then the only last thing to say is make sure that you're not resting your whole arm on the top of your uke, because this is like the speaker. It is what vibrates. So if you're resting your arm on the top itself, it will really dampen the vibrations. One more plug also, that if you haven't changed your strings in a while and you've been playing with us for a while, probably look into changing your strings. I really like the fluorocarbon strings. You'll see there's all sorts of different materials. Those are the ones that I like. They're made of deep sea fishing line. And so, let's see, is that someone else joining? No. So if you need help with that, let me know. You can also stop by my house. I'm happy to change them quickly. I've gotten to the point where I can change them pretty quick now. Make sure you order for the right size uke. They make them in either tenor size strings, or usually concert and soprano are the same length strings. Okay, so we're going to be working on our other hand today. We're going to be working on our right hand. So now that we're holding the uke in the right place and strumming in the right place, we talk about the wrist movement or the arm movement being like a record player. You set it at a speed, and you want that wrist and arm just to be moving at that speed constantly. Whether you're strumming or not, it should be moving at that speed, right? And so then, whether or not we are strumming, whether we're making noise, is entirely about whether our fingers touch the strings. But our wrist is always moving at this same speed, right? So let's go ahead and do a strum with that. Let me turn on original sound quickly. Where did you go? Sorry, my Zoom updated and everything's weird now. Suppress background noise. Let's get rid of that. No, it's being weird. Hold on one moment. Okay, now my button's back. Sorry about that. You hear me, yeah? Everything's coming through? Great. Okay, so let's go ahead and start playing a little bit. Just play a C chord with me for now. We're going to get our wrist moving, and really this is back to basics, but we're going to put it to work in a minute. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, right? Just get that wrist moving. And let's play the downs a little harder than the ups. And I want us to count in our head or out loud while we do this. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and... Okay, we're going to count to 4 now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 that counting going in your head. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And the way you keep the counting going in your head is play the 1 a little harder. And again, put that counting somewhere in your body. Body is bouncing right now, but you can put it into your leg, you can put it into your foot. Let something be your metronome. Let something be your counting. So that number should always be going. You should have that just counting in the back of your head. It'll help with everything. So one of the keys to this strum is that every down is a number and every up is an and, right? That's our basic here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, right? So you know if you're saying and, that you're going up already, and you know if you're saying a number, you're going down already, right? Does that make sense? So we want to just practice that together. That's a good thing to practice. Make sure you get enough volume out of your uke. Make sure you can really hear it. If you're not hearing it, if you're not getting volume out of all 4 strings, focus on that. 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to double this speed, but we're going to keep the same rhythm. So that means is that our wrist is going to go twice as fast. 2, 2. Here we go. Now it goes like this. And now you can hear the counting of the numbers because I'm playing them harder, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So do that with me where you're playing the numbers louder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And those, when you're saying it, you should be going down. When you're saying the number, you should be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now if you want to count everything, it's 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, we're going to go back to our previous speed. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and stop. Okay, so entirely a right-handed exercise here. Let's just talk about how that felt. What were folks' responses? How did that? What was difficult? What was easy? Was the whole thing easy? Was it exhausting? Was it?
Last year we got, the harder it was for me to keep counting.
Yeah, right? And that's really what the exercise is to keep that count going. So that's something to practice then, for sure, is practice the counting with that. And that's really what we want, is we want that counting there. And we don't want the counting to be in your head. I know I keep saying that, but find a place in your body that counting can go so that you don't have to think about it, right? I wasn't keeping track of when the 1 was, but I knew that I was going to be strumming harder on that 1, and I was already feeling it, so it was there waiting for us. Other thoughts? Other responses to that? Okay, Larry, you're new to this. So the other way we give reactions is the scale between thumbs up and thumbs down with lots of gradients in between. So everyone just give me a show of thumbs how that felt to you.
I'm so out of this. And the one thing, when I play the guitar, I mostly play classical guitar, so I wasn't strumming very much. And part of it. So that's what I need to work on. So it's very helpful in that way.
And
I have a long way to go.
There's a whole range of folks' experience and where they're at and the skills, and so you'll very much fit in, yeah. And that's the way to do it, is do that exercise where you're keeping it in the same beat. You can even put on a metronome if you'd like, and go slower if you need it to be slower, and switch between counting every quarter note and going back and forth and staying in count. Okay, now we're going to take it to the next step. So we're going to get back into that. 3, 4, 1, playing a C chord here and working on our right hand, Linda. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we're gonna move to a down, down, up, down, up, which we haven't worked on in a while, right? But for a while was our core strum that we really focused on. So keep that wrist moving exactly as it is. Don't change it. We're not going to change our strum at first. I want that wrist to keep moving. No matter what we say, keep that wrist moving like it's moving right now. Don't change anything based on what we say, okay? It's going to be hard, though. So just listen. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. Okay. Now, the core thing to realize in this exercise is that you're already doing what I'm saying. We're just not saying all of them, right? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's saying all of them. But you're already going to be doing this strum. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. You're already doing that strum. So don't change what you're playing and not playing. But I want you to say it with me. Say the strum with me. And when you say each thing, play it a little harder than you otherwise do. So like this. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. Really try saying it with me. Up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. Okay. Now we're going to try playing it where instead of playing the ones softly that you're not saying, you're going to lift your finger up like a record player lifting up the needle, but it keeps spinning, so don't change your right hand speed at all. Just, right? I'm not changing my right hand speed at all here. I'm just moving it away. Right? The only difference in my wrist is whether it's touching the strings or not here. So we're going to do it similarly. Down, down, up, down, 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 up. Up, down, 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 up. If you're finding this hard, go back to down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Okay, how did that feel? Show a thumbs. Where are we at? By the final one, lifting it up where your finger's not touching and you're doing down, down, up, down, down. On that one, how did that feel? Good? Straightforward? Good? Okay. So, let's speed it up. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Okay, if this is difficult, break it down to the basics. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that's how we break it down to the basics, is we switch just to the down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then we say it while we strum it. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. And then we work on playing it louder when we strum, or when we say it. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. And then we work on not playing the ones that we're not saying. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. Okay. How did it feel at that faster tempo? Okay, so about the same regardless of tempo for us. So if that's tough, that's a great thing to practice. And if it's not tough, practice it where you're focusing on moving the counting to some part of your body. Because that's really an essential skill, an essential addition. Okay, now we're going to try applying that to a song. Where's the button? There we go. Okay, so first let's go ahead and go over, go over these chords. So two of these chords are pretty easy chords, or at least they're chords that we play a lot. We've got our A minor chord right here. we've got our G chord right here. And then we've got our E7 chord. This is my very favorite ukulele chord. I just love how this sounds. So take your first finger, put it on the first fret of the G string, the string closest to your chin. I'm teaching this to kids right now, and so if it helps, good children eat apples are the 4 strings. Good children eat apples. So first finger, first fret. Second finger is going to drop in on the second fret right below it on the C string, and then your third finger, your ring finger, is going to go all the way on the bottom on that A string, also on the second fret. Okay. By the way, just to show you something, it's really easy to go from that E7, right there's our E7, to a G7. All you got to do is move that index finger down here, and you're at a G7. Keep the second and the third fingers there, and you got that E7 and a G7. Larry, if you're used to guitar, a G7 looks like a D chord on a guitar. And in fact, occasionally, maybe more than occasionally, you'll hear me accidentally call out the name of the guitar chord rather than the ukulele chord. So we've got our E7, we've got our D7 right there, right? Okay, so our 3 chords, A minor, G, E7. So this is a Hasidic folk song, Eve duet. I'm going to assume we know A minor and G better than we know E7. So I'm going to put my fingers over those for us to play. A minor and G. A minor and G. Okay. Song goes like this. I'm just going to play it simply at the beginning, and then we will go through and really work on our right hand, because these chords are pretty easy. And in fact, I put the E7s in parentheses, because if you're finding it hard to switch to that E7, we're really trying to focus on the right hand, not the left hand. So just skip that E7 if you have to. It goes like this. Eve duet, Hashem b'simcha. Eve duet, Hashem b'simcha. Bo lefanav birnana, lefanav birnana. Okay, go ahead and try playing that with me. Get that right hand moving. Down, up, 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 down, up. Here we go. E minor et Hashem b'simcha. G et Hashem b'simcha. A minor lefanav birnana. G, E7, A minor. Let's just try that for a moment. That G, E7, A minor, because it's a quick change, right? G, E7, A minor. So moving from the G to E7, let that index finger be your guide. So we move from G to E7 with that index finger, and then the other 2 fall in below it. And then A minor is really easy. You're just going to move that middle finger up. G, E7, A minor. G, E7. I played it wrong. G, E7, A minor again. 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 G, E7, A minor. Okay. Let's go ahead and play these 2 lines together. Here we go. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Here we go. Now, Eve duet, Hashem b'simcha. G et Hashem b'simcha. A minor, fana birnana. G, E7, A minor again. A minor et Hashem b'simcha. G et Hashem b'simcha. A minor, fana birnana. G, E7, A minor. Okay, the next 2 lines are the exact same thing, except instead of saying words, you say yalalai. Yalalai, 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 lai, G, lai, 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 la, la, lai, minor, la, la, lai, la, la, lai, la, la, lai, G, E7, A minor, la, la, lai, yalalai, yalalai, lai, G, lai, 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 la, 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 A minor, la, la, lai, yalalai, yalalai, lai, G, E7, A minor. Okay, quick show of thumbs. Where are we at on that? Relatively straightforward, right? Okay. So now we're going to really hone in not on the chords, but on our right hand work.
Can I ask a question, Rabbi?
Yeah, please.
Would you, what do you think about changing that G to a G7 because it would make everything so much easier? I don't know how it sounds. I didn't try it.
Yeah, that works great. You can just play a G7 if you'd rather instead of the G. Eve duet Hashem b'simcha, Eve duet Hashem.
I think that's easy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, go for it. Okay, any other thoughts before we play this again in a more complicated way? Okay, so now we're going to try to bring what we worked on with our right hand into this. So... feel the flow. You don't have to play exactly what I play, in fact, right? You want to find your rhythm. So get that right hand moving. And down, up, 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 down. Make sure you're going across all the strings. Make sure you're using your index finger. Make sure you're playing right where the neck meets the body. Here. And then speed it up. Down, up, 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 down, up. So now we're going twice the speed with that right wrist. Down, up, 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 down. Is that too fast for us? Show of thumbs. Is that too fast? Yes.
That's fast.
Let's slow it down just a little.
Could you show us your finger? We can only see your left hand.
Yep.
I'd like to see what, if your finger, like how it, what it looks exactly like when it's doing that so fast.
Well, that's really trippy with the many copies of that there.
I can't hear you.
No, I don't know. Let me change the sound though, see if that helps. Sorry. Is that helpful seeing this hand instead? Or is it just kind of a blur?
It's a little bit of a blur, but like I tend to kind of hold my finger with my thumb to get it to be stable, and I wondered if you did that, and you do not do that. Like, you see what I'm saying? I sort of do that, and maybe that's bad. I should just try to do it like this.
Hold on, I'm going to zoom out a little bit and see if that helps. So hopefully this angle helps a little bit too. You can see how... And you can see on the first beat I'm doing a little bounce, right? And you can literally see my finger bounce off the top.
All that with just your index finger, right? That's only your index finger?
That's it. The only thing that's touching is index.
Okay.
When you get real fast, you can start going down with your other fingers and up with your thumb, but that's a whole level more than... So that is not what we're doing though. Just index finger. Okay, let's slow it down a little, but keep that same doubled speed. Down. So find your groove in this, right? Find somewhere to groove in this. We're really focusing on that right hand, not your left hand. So you don't have to play exactly what I'm playing, but stay in that rhythm and focus on really making that right hand interesting. And you'll hear that I'm going to change up what I'm doing with my right hand, and you should as well. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Weave duet Hashem b'simcha G at Shem b'simcha minor. Now G7 A minor at Hashem b'simcha G at Shem b'simcha minor. The fa na bin na G7 A minor. Yala 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 G la 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 minor la 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 G7 A minor. Yala la yala la yala la yala la 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 yala la la yala la yala la yala la la la. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm using my left hand to just mute the strings when I don't want it to play. So I'm using that finger just to rest on the strings, not pushing down. Eve duet Hashem b'simcha G at Hashem b'simcha A minor. Finana G7 A minor G A minor at Finana G7 A minor. Yala la yala la yala la yala la la G la 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 minor. La 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 G7 A minor. Yala la yala la yala la yala la 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 yala la 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 G7 A minor. Okay, how did that feel? Let's get it.
Decide when you're muting.
What'd you say?
How do you decide when you're muting?
Play with it.
I mean,
What I would say is, so right, like the last 2 weeks, what we've really focused on, I think you weren't here when we said this, Linda, but we've really focused on the left hand work and how we can add color with our left hand, seventh chords and suspensions and things like that, right? Today we're really trying to focus more on our right hand work and how we can add color and flavor with our right hand. And that's done, first of all, by making sure that the essentials are cooking like they should, right? That we're strumming at the right spot, that we're using the right finger, that our wrist is constantly moving at the same speed. By the way, that's a rule that we're going to break as we get more advanced, but really needs to be a firm, ingrained muscle memory kind of thing before we start breaking it. So really working on that and building that up. But then once we have those, adding in things like those mutes, and it's flavor. Put it in wherever you want, right? Switch between a measure of playing and a measure of not playing. Or do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
that's a good exercise. That's a good exercise.
So right, you can use that exercise just like we use those exercises switching between C and C7 and F and F7, and do the exact same thing here where you're just taking simple chords. Make your left hand easy if you're working on your right hand, right? Just C. The other thing you can do with a uke that I always think is fun is when you're strumming down, if you're strumming down where that index finger is rolling across the fretboard, let it kind of clip the head of the top of your ukulele on the way down, and it gives sort of percussive pop. You hear that sound? It is hitting the ukulele, and I assume over time I'll wear a little spot into my uke, but that's okay. Again, all these things that you can add percussive flavor with the right hand and melodic flavor with the left hand. Okay, so let's play another song where we can really hopefully hone in on such things. Okay, we moved from classic Hasidic to... Actually, Jolene in some ways kind of runs like a Hasidic song here. To Dolly Parton. So let's go through our chords real quickly. We have our... Where's my button? Okay, we have our D minor chord. Right. Same shape as an A minor if we're used to guitar. We have our C chord, which we just played. We have our C7. We don't really use the B flat in this song. We decided the C7 sounds better than the B flat, though you could choose the B flat if you wanted. And we have an F. So those are our chords: D minor, C, C7, and F. Okay. Here we go. D minor and F and C, D minor. I'm C, C7, D minor. So just down strums now. D minor and F and C, D minor. C and C7 because D minor. Now let's double it. Down, 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 down. Your D minor is F compare. C lock, C. Oh, hold on, that's tricky what I just did there, I just realized. So what I'm doing, we're not going to do this because I think it's too tricky for us, but I'm just going to explain it for us real quick, is we're doing two strums, but we're switching in between the strums. So D, so F, C, C, D minor, C, C, C7, C7, D minor, D minor, D minor, D minor, F, F, C, C, D minor, C, C7, D minor, but that's too tricky, I think. So if you want to practice that. We're going to do it less tricky than that. Just back to one strum. Now we'll move to downs and ups. Your D minor is F compare with C locks of D minor hair with C skin, C7 of emerald D minor. Working on having that one count be stronger. One, 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 one. Your D minor is like an F of spring. Your C is soft like D minor rain. And C cannot C7 with you, D minor. From the top, D minor and F and C, D minor. I'm seeing of you, C7, don't take my man. Okay, now from the top again, but we're going to double that right hand speed. Here we go now, down, up, 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 down, 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 up, 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 down, up. So get into that groove, and then here we go. D minor and F and C and D minor. I'm seeing of you, C7, don't take my D minor. Okay, I'm doing a different kind of mute here. This is one we've talked about, where I'm pushing down. It's all in my left hand over here. I'm pushing down when I want it to strum, and otherwise I'm lifting it up and letting my fingers stay in their spot, but not push down. It's also a nice rest if your left hand fingers or your hand is getting a little rough, right? You go back and forth. Here we go now. D minor and F and C and D minor. I'm C, C7, don't D minor. D minor and F and C and D minor. I'm seeing C7 because D minor. Your D minor is F of prayer, C locks of D minor hair with C skin, C7 of emerald D minor. Your D minor is like an F of spring. Your C is soft like D minor rain, and C cannot C7 with you, D minor. Let's go back to just one strum. Here we go now. D minor and F and C and D minor. I'm C, C7, D minor. Back to the fast one. D minor and Okay. How did that feel? What was hard? What was not hard? I'm seeing a lot more middles.
Everything's good till you get to that super fast rhythm, and then all our brains blow out.
So, like, I know I am like a echo on repeat here, but or I should say record player on repeat. We're keep the metaphor turning here. But get a metronome or a metronome app on your phone or in your browser, whatever it is, and slow it down to whatever speed you can play double, regular, and just one strum. And then keep pushing it forward. If you can do that at 100 beats per minute, then move it to 110, then 115, then whatever it is. You might want to start on 60 beats per minute or whatever it is. But okay, other thoughts here. Okay, so that we don't lose it, let's go and play our blues. We'll end with the blues today. Okay. Let me explain this for Larry, but also I think all of us can use refreshers on this very confusing series of charts that we've put together here. Okay, this is the 12-bar blues. 12-bar blues is the core of so much of American popular music. You find it all over. You can't turn on the radio on any rock or contemporary or classical, not classical, but classics, or 1950s or blues or country, any of those genres. You are going to find the 12-bar blues and its variations all over it. So what we have over here in this chart is how it goes. And each of those numbers there refers to the chord number, because the 12-bar blues is made up of the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord in whatever key we are in. So in the key of C, the 1 chord is the C, and then we count it off: C, D, E. F is going to be our 4 chord, and G is going to be our 5 chord. So the 3 chords that we're going to use in 12-bar blues will be the C, the F, and the G, the 1, the 4, and the 5. And that's all that this chart is up here. So it's a little cheat chart for us. So we know that we're going to be in the key of C, so we go to the 1 column and we see the C, and then we see what the other chords are: the C, the F, and the G. Now, the other thing that we've done with this, in addition to the 12-bar blues, is thinking of 7th chords as feeling and tasting bluesy. So we play the 7th chord versions of these. So we will play a C7, an F7, and a G7 as our core chords, rather than the C, the F, and the G. But the last 3 weeks, what we've been doing is really switching back and forth between the 7th chords and the standard chords as a way of seeing what flavor they add to the blues, to the soup of our playing. I really am mixing all of our metaphors here, but hopefully that made sense. And let's play, shall we? So let's go over these chords quickly. We have a C7 chord. It's one of our easiest chords, first finger, first fret, all the way on the A string. We have an F7 chord, which is easy enough. Play an F first, and then drop that ring finger in afterwards. And then we have a G7. Going from F7 to G7 is really easy. Keep that index finger where it is, and just move the other 2 fingers to sandwich around it. Back to the C7. Okay. So let's go ahead and play this. And again, this is a left hand primarily exercise that we want to be focusing in on and thinking about. So okay, here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, C7, 2, 3, 4, F7, 2, 3, 4, C7, 2, 3, 4, C7, 2. Now we're gonna be on the second line. F7, F7, 2, 3, 4, F7, 2, 3, 4, C7, 2, 3, 4, C7. Now we're gonna be on the third line. G7, G7, 2, 3, 4 to F7, to the C7, back to the G7, from the top, C7, F7, C7, F7, back to C7. Now G7, F7, C7, turn it around, G7. Okay, now stay on that C7 for a second. So now we're going to go ahead and switch back and forth between the regular chords and the major chords. So we're going to start with the 7th chord and we're going to move to the major. Here we go. C7 to C, F7 to F, C7 to C, C7 to C, F7 to F, F7 to F, C7 to C, C7 to C, G7 to G, F7 to F, C7 to C, C7 to C. Okay, how did that feel? Ish? Kind of fast-ish, but yeah. Okay, let's do it again. 2, 3. Actually, let's do it in the opposite direction now. We're going to move from the regular chord to the 7th chord. So start on the C. 2, here we go. C to C7, F to F7, C to C7, C to C7, F to F7, F to F7, C to C7, C to C7, G to G7, F to F7, C to C7, G to G7, C, C7, F, F7, C, C7, C, C7, F, F7, F, F7, C, C7, C, C7, G, G7, F, F7, C, C7, just a G7, and end on a C. Okay, how'd that feel? I think that'll be newer to you, Kathleen. I think so. Yeah, normal to be a little less whatever there. But so we really worked both sides of our uke playing today, with a lot of focus first half, first 2/3 on that right hand, and similarly with the left hand. But the thing that they do have in common is that all of these things, whether they be 7th chords or suspensions, or how we're messing with our right hand in terms of muting or not muting, or how fast we're going, or what we're playing or not playing. All these we want to think of as tools, as sort of color that we can add in as we're going. So whichever of those things feels the least comfortable to you is where to start in terms of working your way through it. Okay, any more thoughts before we say goodbye for today? Thanks, everyone. See you next week. And I am going to be back at Talmud starting next week, too. Though I think, Sean, you may be the only Talmud regular here. But I'll be back. So, see y'all later.